Welcome to Really YouTube channel, and today we want to show you what we call the nursery bed, where we have planted black nightshade or Managu, because we have been showing you how we intercrop cabbage and Managu together, but you have never seen where the Managu which we use in intercropping comes from. So as you see, you can see there really is trying to weed the Managu or the black nightshade which is on the nursery, and it is nearly ready to be transplanted. And this nursery bed was actually prepared one month ago, and now Managu is very ready to be transplanted to the seed bed, where we will do the intercropping between the cabbage and the black nightshade. You can see that Managu is ready, and it's in good health. And the reason behind this is because he has done proper management of the nursery, and that is why you are seeing that Managu has done very well. Germination was nearly to 95 to 98%, because you can see the seeds really germinated very well. And as you know, the seeds of Managu is quite small, and when you are putting it on the nursery bed, you do what we call broadcasting, because by doing broadcasting, you will find that you will be able to have more seedlings, which actually you will transplant to the seed bed. That is why broadcasting is the method of choice whenever you are you want to put Managu to the nursery. So there are various things you must do for you to have what we call a successful nursery bed. One of the things is that you must prepare a well fine nursery with fine soil, so that the seedlings can be able to grow. Another thing, you must put enough compost manure to the nursery and mix it well with the soil, so that you provide enough nutrients for the Managu, because as you know, they overcrowd once they germinate. It means they need a lot of nutrients. Another thing you must always know is that because the seedlings are very small, that's why they need what we call a fine seed bed. And as you know, as I have said earlier, whenever you are planting, we always do the broadcasting method, because it is the method of what? Of choice. So those are things you must always know. And there are also other basic field managements which you must do as soon as the Managu seedlings are what? Have actually germinated. So the first thing you must do is to do proper weeding, because as you know, weeds always compete with nutrients with Managu, and they will always overdo the Managu and makes them to be in poor health. That's why you need to do proper weeding of the what? Of the nursery. Another thing you must do is you must spray with what we call pesticide, because as soon as the Managu germinates, all the night black shade germinates, you will find they always get infested with what we call pests, and those pests they will always spoil the leaves, and you will find that if not properly controlled, they will always make holes on the leaves of what, of the seedlings. So that's why it's quite necessary for you to do pest control, so that you can have what we call health seedlings, which you will do what we call the transplanting. And also, whenever we have a lot of weeds, they actually attract pests, and at the same time they will even attract what we call what, the diseases, mostly the fungal diseases. And that's why you really need to control all the types of what, all the types of pests. And another thing you must always know, whenever you transplant the managu from the nursery to the seedbed, the seedbed must be well made. The weeds must be always removed, and that's why, as you see in that video, really is trying to remove all the weeds from that seedbed, so that it can be ready for the transplanting of the what, of the managu from the what, from the nursery. And there is also another thing you must note, which I have not said. Some people, they don't actually put managu on the what, on the nursery bed. They actually broadcast on the seed bed managu. Once the managu germinates, they leave it a bit longer to overgrow, and then they uproot the entire managu plant, and they take that to the what, to the market. But for our case here is where we first put managu on the nursery, and then we transplant to the what, to the seed bed. And that means when we will be harvesting the managu, we don't uproot, we harvest the leaves only. And that's why you will find that managu will be harvested around even 10 times. And that's why I've said that the duration for managu, until you find that you have completely exhausted the managu, is around 3 months. When you don't what, you don't uproot the entire managu, you will always be harvesting the leaves. So that's actually basically what we do here. But if you go to other sides of the parts of this nation, managu is just, you will find the seedlings are broadcasted on the what, on the seed bed, and they overgrow, and once they have overgrown, they are just completely uprooted and taken to the market. So it's a one thing, and that's why you will find whenever that method is used, you will find managu takes around what, 1.5 months, and it is ready, and it get harvested once for that reason, for that season, and it becomes over. Then also, whenever you are doing, you are going to intercrop, as you see the way really is trying to show there with an and, you put managu in between, at the midst of the rows of what, of cabbage, so that you can allow space from cabbage to managu, from one cabbage to managu. This is actually necessary because we really don't want managu to overcompete with the nutrients, with the what, with the cabbage. And that's why, as I told you, we do that, and once managu reaches around 3 months, we uproot it entirely, and we leave now cabbage to be alone, to grow to maturity. so that their heads can what? Can be harvested. So Managu, whenever you plant, you first plant the cabbage so that the cabbage can establish well. Then you intercrop with Managu later on, because as you know, Managu grows very fast. If you plant them at the same time, then you will find that Managu will compete with nutrients more, and because they establish their roots quite early. And there's another thing which you see really is trying to, so that's a weed which is actually very common here in Gusiland, and that weed must always be eradicated in this seedbed because it grows very fast. So if that weed, we call it the big weed, if that weed is actually left without it being properly controlled, it will grow very fast, it will overgrow the cabbage, and it will destroy the entire cabbage completely. So that's why it's very necessary for that weed to be removed from what? From the seedbed completely, so that the seedbed can be very clean out of those kind of what? Those kind of weeds. There's also one thing which is of benefit because of what? The intercropping of cabbage and Managu. You will find that the pesticide you use for cabbage is the pesticide you will use for Managu to control what? The pests. So really is very good in doing that, and she's very well in always doing the field management of what? Of mostly vegetables as what? As a whole. As we are near to complete this video, there is one thing I will request you to do. Please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, because by giving it a like, you enable YouTube to share it to many friends as possible. And another thing is that whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always remember to smash the bell button, because by smashing the bell button, you will give YouTube permission so that you can always get notified whenever we upload any content into YouTube. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to this YouTube channel and they always view our videos, I say thank you, and may God bless you all abundantly, because you always give us the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of inspirational videos. And lastly, what I want to tell the people is that agriculture is the backbone of our economy, and we must do it to build the nation, to have what we call food security well managed. And that's why you need to do agriculture as actually what? A form of employment. Because if you do agriculture properly, then you will find that you need not to get another job anywhere, because agriculture can actually employ you and can always give you enough capital to do other things in your family. But we need to have good attitude towards it, so that to be what? To be successful. Because most people see agriculture as a thing for the old people, and that's why you will find that mostly the youths, we actually waste a lot of time wanting to be employed, and that precious time which we waste, we could have actually used it to do proper farming. And because farming is good, farming is profitable, then we could do a lot to help ourselves economically. And lastly, I could let you know that we will always be coming up with this kind of videos to share and educate our population on how to do what? To do farming. Otherwise, I wish you all the best until we meet in our next video. Goodbye.